again, Jamie Carragher has once again opened his mouth and he's landed himself in more hot water. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to centre around the comments that Jamie Carragher has made in regards to the AFCON Cup of Nations. It was in the aftermath of Liverpool's win against Manchester City, and Carragher is talking about Mohamed Salah's chances of potentially a Ballon d'Or at the end of this year. And he mentioned the fact that Salah is Egyptian, Salah's playing in AFCON, and that it's not regarded, in his opinion, as a major tournament. And that could potentially hinder his chances of maybe winning the most prestigious individual award known to a footballer. We're going to be talking about these comments. We're going to be talking about the aftermath of what was said and everything. So we're going to get into that. But before we get into all of that and much more, I would like to remind you to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. That I'm sure will make for great and interesting reading down below. So please do use and abuse that comment section, people, and talk to me on this. Would love to know what you have to say on this very controversial topic of discussion. I'm sure it'll make for great and interesting reading. But without further ado, let's get on with the video, shall we? Let's talk Jamie Carragher and his comments towards AFCON. This has caused quite a stir in the media and amongst pundits and ex-players, players from Africa, ex-players, whatever it may be. It's caused a bit of a stir, and it's seemingly seen that Carragher's being disrespectful and disingenuous towards AFCON. A lot of people have had their say on this, but basically the one quote I want to pull out is that Carragher said on Sunday, I think the problem is the fact that he's with Egypt and he's probably not playing in the major tournament as such, or maybe got a great chance of winning the World Cup. I think it's either the Champions League or the major tournament for him. If you were to take it at face value, very, very disrespectful. He's seemingly suggesting that AFCON is not on par with the likes of the European Championships and Copa America, and certainly not on the same level as the World Cup. Now, no one's debating that AFCON is not on the same level as the World Cup, because the World Cup is absolutely global. But to say that AFCON is not on level with a European Championship and a Copa America is, in my opinion, so disrespectful and so stupid, it's unbelievable. Every continental cup is on level with each other. They may not get the same level of coverage in different parts of the globe, but they are still massive tournaments that thousands upon millions upon maybe even billions of people do tune in to watch when that kind of festival of football is being played out. AFCON is no different. AFCON is certainly growing. It may not have the same level of resources or may not have the same level of broadcasting that other competitions do, but it is certainly a massive, major competition. And that's what Carragher can't seem to understand when he makes these kinds of comments. It may have issues with, obviously, the timing, for example, because normally it is played in like January, February time. Many major leagues across the world, and mainly in Europe, of course, are probably playing their football during that time period. So it may not get as much traction or as much eyes on the product as it would if, say, the Premier League wasn't on, the French League, the Bundesliga, La Liga, whatever league is on, or maybe even the transfer window for that matter. But at the same time, it's still monumental, not just to football fanatics, not just to scouts who are probably going over there to scout the next big African superstar, not just for just fans of the game, but mainly, of course, for the people of Africa, mainly, of course, for fans of the likes of Egypt and Senegal and Algeria and Nigeria and whoever else. It's a fun, lovely festival of football. And Carragher is just dismissing it like it's nothing, like it's not major. Ridiculous, in my personal opinion. And even as a Liverpool fan, like, I'll admit, like, I'm a casual fan of AFCON. If it's on and there's nothing else on, I'll stick it on in the background, whatever. It's impossible to consume every level of football from everywhere around the globe. Every cup competition, every league competition, every international cup competition, whatever it may be. It's impossible to consume all level of football. It's just ridiculous to think about even trying to do that, right? But it's still big to certain people, as I previously mentioned. And even as me as a Liverpool fan, my focus during the time that AFCON is on is obviously on Liverpool. But over the course of recent years, because Liverpool have brought in a few African players, I've started to take more of an interest in it. Naby Keita, but mainly, of course, Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah. Them playing in that competition has been brilliant for them. It's been brilliant to bring more eyes to the product because they've obviously made their name in Europe and have got more eyes on the product from afar rather than from nearby. It's been brilliant for AFCON, for the continent and for the competition. It's a growing thing that is only going to get more eyes on it as time progresses. Fantastic for them. It's still, even without that, a fantastic competition and is on the same level as those other competitions. But like I said, as a Liverpool fan, I've been hooked by seeing Salah and Mane especially go over to that competition and absolutely tear the house down. I've been hooked on this story of both Salah and Mane opposing each other and going at it and battling it out on the pitch. A few years ago, the AFCON tournament in, I believe it was 2021, that was the storybook finale of Salah versus Mane. That was it. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant to watch. I'm sure there are other teams, other fans of other teams that have had African players that they've also took an interest in because they have players that are from their club that have gone over there to play in that competition and they've contributed to more eyes being put on that product. And it's fantastic. And to completely disrespect it and dismiss it as not a major tournament is wrong on Jamie Carragher's part, 100%. And everybody and their dog has seemingly chimed in on this. Rio Ferdinand has chimed in. Carragher called him a clown. I agree, but maybe not so much on this particular instance. There are other people that have chimed in on this. Other people that are saying that Carragher's wrong. Even in the studio on Sunday when Carragher made those comments fresh and live on air, Mika Richards and Daniel Sturridge pulled him up and said, AFCON is a major tournament. What the hell are you talking about? They are 100% right. It is a major tournament. And then I started to deep it a little more. And I don't fully know whether or not he's got his wires crossed. Maybe he didn't explain it in the best possible way. Because we've all been there. We've all said stuff that maybe the person that we're talking to hasn't quite grasped the full understanding of what we're saying. Maybe we're saying the wrong thing. Maybe we're not educated enough about the topic, or maybe about certain words to further strengthen our argument or strengthen our point. But it got me thinking, could there be another angle that maybe Carragher is somewhat right about this? And I don't know if there completely is. I don't know if there's a way to justify what he said. And I definitely don't think there is a way to justify the sort of laugh he gave when Sturridge and Richards both said it is a major tournament, and he basically laughed in disbelief. I don't think there is a way to properly justify it. The only thread that I can maybe pull or find in this argument is that maybe FIFA also maybe share his views. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't see AFCON on the same kind of level as a European Championship. Or on the same level as a Copa America. And the thread that I pull there is basically based on 3 players. Mohamed Salah himself, Riyad Mahrez, and Sadio Mane. Now, in 2019, Sadio Mane finished 4th in the Ballon d'Or. This was after a brilliant season with Liverpool, in which he won the Champions League. He had a fantastic individual season. They also went close to Manchester City and going 2nd in the Premier League table. It was a fantastic individual season by Sadio Mane, but he finished 4th. In the same year, Mohamed Salah, who had an unbelievable season again for the Reds, finished in 5th. Riyad Mahrez, in that same year, helped City win the domestic treble and won AFCON with Algeria. He finished 9th or 10th. Off the top of my head now, I had it wrote down and I can't remember where my notes are. He finished like 9th or 10th in those particular rankings. So then I started to deep it a little more. In 2022, Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah were again ranked. This was the year of that Salah-Mane final. And Mane came 2nd, and Salah came 5th. Again. Both had great seasons. Both did the double. Well, a domestic cup double with Liverpool. The FA Cup and the League Cup. That's the only small thread that I can pull. It's the only small thread that I can pull. I think 2022 was won by Benzema, I believe. Fantastic season. Real Madrid obviously won the Champions League that year. It's the only small thread that I can pull. That maybe he is basically trying to look at it from the perspective of FIFA rather than himself. But the thing that cancels that all out is the fact that he laughed in disbelief when basically Sturridge and Richards both said that AFCON is a major tournament. He then goes on to X, formerly known as Twitter, to say that Salah, AFCON, Ballon d'Or. The point I was trying to make yesterday was that Mo Salah is at a disadvantage playing for Egypt in terms of him winning the Ballon d'Or. If Salah had an average season at Liverpool but won the AFCON and was MVP, I don't think he would win the Ballon d'Or. If he'd have used Riyad Mahrez as the prime example there could be an argument, right? There could potentially be an argument. Now, I don't know why he's using the term MVP. He's been too busy on CBS or whatever the other show is. But I kind of agree. I kind of agree because Mahrez had a bit of an average season with City. He scored a few goals here and there that were important. Went on to win AFCON. Didn't win it. I don't know. If you use that example, I think that might have actually maybe turned people's opinions around maybe a little bit. I still think what he said was disrespectful. I still think the way he went about saying what he did and the way he fought back afterwards was disrespectful towards the continent, towards the competition, towards the players of the tournament, past or present. I think it was very disrespectful, but I kind of see slightly where he is coming from if he'd have used that case study. And I don't think he goes on to say it in the number of tweets that he actually posts out put out in the aftermath of it. We know that the competition is not on the same level as the World Cup, but to somewhat kind of disrespect it by saying it's not on the same level as other continental cups, in my opinion, is just plain wrong. It's just plain wrong, in my opinion. He's landed himself in some hot water. I don't agree with it at all, and I just think that if he'd have maybe worded it differently, if he'd have used different examples, maybe if he'd have brought maybe how he believes FIFA look at things a little bit more into it, maybe he could have got a few more people on his side. But because he didn't explain himself properly, because maybe ultimately he believes what he is saying, he is ultimately come across as a complete and utter muppet, an idiot, an absolute train wreck of a discussion point. No, those are your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of what Jamie Carragher said about AFCON? Leave your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, down below in that comment section, because I really want to know what you guys have to say on this particular issue. Hit the like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. Get involved, like I say. Hit the like button. All of that stuff. All would be greatly appreciated, as is your support to the channel. Whether it's new or continuing, you guys are absolutely awesome. I'll always be appreciative of that. Never take anything for granted. You guys are awesome, so thank you all so much for that. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. Thanks everyone for watching and listening, and I will see you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you again very, very soon.